My people were biologically determined for one purpose alone, to sense the coming of damn fine podcasts. I sense it coming now.
Hello, and welcome to a Discovery Home Companion. I'm gonna sing a song now like Garrison Keillor. No,
You should probably start with like a little banjo music, maybe.
Yeah, right.
This is brought to you by Dikovma's Home Style Biscuits.
Right.
You will never be able to podcast as good as us. Your tongue is too human.
Sorry about that.
Yep. This is a Discovery Home Companion, where we are talking about how you guessed it. You clicked on it, you downloaded it. It's a podcast about Star Trek Discovery, the new Star Trek show which we all love. My name is Wade Bowen. I'm joined by two of my companions here, James Nolan.
Hey guys.
And Hugh Crawford.
A good evening.
Today we're talking about the 4th episode of Star Trek Discovery, which is also the name of my favorite black metal album.
Yes, the butcher's knife cares not for the lamb's cry.
I was hoping they all had like the ridiculously pretentious titles.
Yeah, I kind of did
because
too.
the Fargo, all of those episodes have ridiculously pretentious titles.
Yeah,
and I would have been fine with that. But the next one's called like Pain or something like lame.
Yeah.
So
right.
Yeah,
no.
I'm excited for the next one, but I also wish they had the titles like on screen.
Yeah.
Like every other Star Trek does.
Yeah, they do.
That's
Yeah,
that's something the nerds are kind of bummed about, and I am too, because that's the butcher's knife cares not for the lamb's cry is a badass title. I want to hear somebody say that in a monster voice and then helicopter drums. That's what I want. The butcher's knife cares not, and then droning music. That's what I want to hear. Sorry, but
it's very Star Trek, so
yeah.
Much Star Trek is tone of this episode. All right, no,
right, all right. Oh wait, we start off with the IMDb description.
Yeah, yep.
Here it is. With tensions and stakes high as Starfleet continues in their efforts to end the war with the Klingons, Burnham begins to settle in with her new position aboard the USS Discovery. Basically, a quick rundown of this episode.
Well, this one at least has an A plot and a B plot, like
sure.
That old TV standard.
This felt more conventionally like a conventional Star Trek. There were science problems to be solved, and they were solved by the end of it.
Yeah.
Klingons were acting like Klingons.
I made a list of things that I like about this episode, and the second one was for the solid middle of the movie for the episode. It felt like a Star Trek episode, and so that was good.
Oh wow! Because I'm going into this. Tell you what, guys. After those first 3 episodes of this podcast, I'm just tired. I was like, you know what? I'm going to go in. I'm not going to like trip over the ottoman this time and be excited about how y'all feel about it.
Oh, I also didn't like this episode either. But for 15 minutes in the middle, it felt like... For 10 minutes in the middle, it felt like a Star Trek episode.
Basically, at the beginning, we have Burnham getting dressed, and she doesn't have the official Star Trek insignia, right, guys?
It does this sort of clever introduction about how the particle, like how the reclamators, what are the replicators?
Replicators,
how they work.
yes.
And that was kind of a fun, because you watch with this and you're like, this is a weird visual, like what am I watching? And then that's sort of the reveal that I liked that. That's a nice way to start the episode. Yeah. So I was kind of into that.
I mean, they have food replicators, but that's nerd corner shit. I mean, I should just get over the technology is
what they didn't have matter. They didn't have matter replicators.
I don't know. It's unclear.
Why would it be different?
Well, they just didn't have replicators until TNG.
Right.
They talk about food creators.
Well, they have replicators in Enterprise.
What?
Right?
Yeah, they had.
I don't know. I haven't watched Enterprise, but fuck you, Enterprise.
They had some crude. They had a crude version of it. That they
because it made shitty coffee, right? And the Vulcan food was shitty. Like I remember it. Yeah,
it wasn't. They had a chef that would like get real food and prepare real food, and you never saw chef, but they always talked about chef.
And are we sure that reclamators weren't in the original TOS
You mean
movies?
replicators? We're going to get our ass lit up. Are you saying you're talking about Bajoran reclamators? Where they reclaim the land.
Which Shakar had to borrow.
This ain't the rules of acquisition podcast. Go get that shit out of here. We don't. People hate Bajoran politics. Jim.
I think even in that podcast we fuck it up. But
I'm sure we do.
Yeah,
we get names wrong a lot.
Yeah,
I said May Wiseman instead of Mary Wiseman last time. And that's getting off easy.
I think we still call him Adam Rapp.
Anthony.
Which we should just call him Rent Guy. I'm going to call him Rent Guy, not Rent Boy, because that's different.
I think at this point, I know his name, the character's name is Lieutenant Stamets. They say it enough.
Yeah.
And he's got the best,
because it's based on a real mycologist.
He's got one of the best squints in all of television. I think
he's got quality squints.
He's quickly becoming one of my favorite squinters. But we have this starts off with Michael Burnham, and she gets dressed. She has no rank. She's just got the basic uniform, and then she gets a locker. Looks like a duffel bag / locker. FedEx to her, and she has to sign for the package and flips out because it's the last will and testament of her old deceased captain. And then
she puts it under the bed, not to do it.
Well, I was gonna say she flips out and puts it under bed, but then Lorca tells her to get to work, and we get to kind of see. We also get to see that Lorca at the end of the last episode had this the way they staged the last episode. I don't want to harp on episode 3 any more than but it was kind of weird because here we show Lorca laying out all of his cards at the end of that episode, and then goes back and he shows him stealing the monster, and you're thinking, well, he stole a monster. Is he bad? In the beginning of this episode, he lays all of his cards on the table again. I have a monster. It's not like a big secret he's trying to keep, right?
Right. So, so he's not Scar from the Lion King or, the big bad guy that's hiding something. He's there. He's got a job.
Is he not?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. He's the guy that's there. Like everybody else is like, we're science people. And then he's got this thing. He gets this transmission from this admiral saying, Corvon 4 or whatever is dying and we need you. And she's like, you said you'd be ready, right? And he's like, yeah. I'm ready to go right now.
Well, first, I think this is the point to point out that we were she meets Saru in an elevator on her way to work. He has not been informed at all.
Yeah.
And they use the word threat ganglia, I think, more in the scene than they use the word mutineer in all of last week.
That's not fair, but they say it a lot.
And at first I'm just like, God damn, like learn how to write, guys. Write. Learn how to do it.
What? They need to come up with other words than threat ganglia? That's the term for it.
Yes, you should never use the same word a lot
in any given scene. You don't know. That's like the cheapest bad. That's like the worst. It's like saying different words for eyeballs. It's his eyes.
Wait, you've taken writing classes before. You don't say the same word no matter what all the time.
That's the name. It's a body.
But you don't.
It's a body part.
You're thinking that I'm saying reach for the thesaurus. I'm not. I'm saying rewrite the scene. You need to say threat ganglia, and you need to talk about it because it's pertinent later. Comes up as a plot point later. So I'm not saying that don't deal with it. They just said it like 5 times.
Yeah, well, maybe cut out the joke about it. Maybe,
yes.
Yeah.
They said it a lot. You can. There's pronouns in the English language for a reason. So,
right.
But that's just what it's like you're talking about his arm.
Well, if you had threat gangula on your bingo card for Discovery, I think everybody would have had to mark it somewhere.
We would all say that, we wouldn't say arm. If someone said arm 15 times in a scene, I think that's bad writing too.
If they said arm, I don't know, man. That's like the...
Well, it's a taste thing. We'll table it as that for now.
It is a taste.
That's the least thing to get worked up about because I said threat ganglia.
I didn't get worked up about it.
And you got worked up enough to point it out as like an awful as a thing that they did.
I noticed it too. I thought it was the mutineers of this week too, but
the mutineers also I stand by. So I mean that's what I'm saying.
So basically, she's got to she's got to figure out how this. What is this? What is it? What is it? A tardigrade? Is that what they're called?
A tardigrade.
Tardigrade.
Yes.
That's right. Tardigrade.
Yeah, they confirmed that at the thing I went to at the Paley Center yesterday, but
and then they did it in this episode.
It's out of the bag now, so they talked about it.
Yes.
Fun fact: originally that tardigrade was supposed to be a bridge crew member.
Oh, that's wild.
Like it turned into a bridge crew member turned into a spore monster?
Nope. It was just one of the original on the bridge crew. And they've got Robot Lady, they've got Daft Punk.
So there's just a giant globulous...
His name was Ephraim.
Ephraim?
And then
Ephraim.
Ephraim, yeah.
Like my great ancestor, Ephraim Crawford. You're saying that, like,
Ephraim Cochrane, but it was also a throwback because whoever the scientist that discovered the tardigrade's name was Ephraim. But yeah, I think that was from.
So there was a tardigrade-based alien race that was serving in Starfleet. I'm not into Starfleet looking like Mos Eisley, and so
I think it's great.
I do.
I mean, it's like the cartoon. They had the lion.
I do. Lady. I like how weird, and I like how weird a bridge can look. That's
okay. That's a taste thing, but
that was a Brian Fuller thing that he wanted, and they were still looking at it, and then CBS was like, "That's going to cost $1 billion." Sorry, no, and they're like, "Okay," but they like the tardigrade enough that they wrote it into.
Are you saying that it's just like that executive producer for Wild Wild West? Not getting his spider for the Superman Returns movie, so he put it in Wild Wild West.
yeah. Except everybody likes tardigrades, so it wasn't just one guy insisting on it.
This tardigrade is supposed
to get... like that one guy. I want to put him in all my movies. Barbara Streisand's hairdresser,
right?
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah,
right.
Okay. Lorca wants it weaponized. It wants it parted out for weapons. He is a war captain. He doesn't give two shits about science vessels. All he wants to do is just end this war. Mm-hmm. I feel like he's definitely wearing a Captain Ahab vibe. I guess we should talk about that a little bit later down the road once we get the plot taken care of. But
it's not like evil Captain Ahab. He's got these transmissions from Corvan 4 or whatever, and there's people dying with children and stuff.
Sure.
Yeah. Then, so he wants Burnham and Battlestar Galactica lady to weaponize the tardigrade.
Yeah.
And she says, it's a tardigrade, and she's feeling for it. It was a little weird. He was like, come with me, Burnham. Your specialty is exoarchaeology. So this is a good job for you. It's like, it ain't this thing doesn't have a society or a culture to explore. It's just an alien, it's not a sentient civilized being, but whatever. So what does archaeology,
biology or exoarchaeology?
No, not archaeology or exoanthropology or something like that.
Anthropology
is not biology.
Well, yeah.
It's not biology. It's study of cultures and stuff. Like she's good for, that's what.
And specifically humans, I believe anthropology is specifically the study of humans, right?
And Star Trek, I'm sure it's for humanoids,
But that's what anthropology, I guess that would be studying of other races, cultures, and history.
Civilizations and cultures.
Yeah.
But this thing doesn't, it's a giant tardigrade. Tardigrades are microscopic. She's like, and she recognizes, this is just like a microscopic being from Earth, except big. And, they talk that out, and BSG lady is like, well, fuck it. This thing's amazing. Let's weaponize it. And she does the dumbest thing possible.
Yeah, she does it.
I like this show. But this episode is like, come on, are you fucking idiot? Yep.
I guess war makes everybody on a starship act like assholes and like irrational assholes. Yes. In this episode, yes.
Or in this series, yes.
In this instance, I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah, I mean, I hate everyone on the show. And that's what it'd be like. I like Paul Stamets for like 5 minutes today. Is his name Paul?
Paul, yeah.
Lieutenant Stamets, yes.
So I think I wrote in the Discord that this is like hanging out with my wife's aunts. Like everybody's kind of just unpleasant and backbitey, and like
I thought that, I don't know. Tilly wasn't. Tilly was nice. That's what I wrote.
It's a different kind of annoying and backbitey. Like, I think that there's specifically like
she's not backbitey at all. She's like just being a good roommate.
Likable doesn't mean nice. I think. Like,
I know. Well, that's why I found Lorca very likable. And
what
I did, I like Lorca a lot. He's trying to save lives, and he's a little bit of a dick.
I mean, that's kind of like liking Paul Rumsfeld because he's trying to save lives.
Well, it's not. That's bullshit. That is not a fair comparison.
Donald Rumsfeld? Are you saying he's Donald Rumsfeld?
That is not.
Yes, I think
low blow. He's not. He was there to win a war. Like that's
so
for
was
people
Donald
that's
Rumsfeld.
not.
So was William Paley.
Well, but he's not part of the committee for a new American century.
Let's get through the plot of this bastard. Okay, so the tardigrade is what actually steered. Like, spoiler alert: the spores and the tardigrade are what steer the ship and can navigate it. Right. And so they use that to save the day, basically.
It inhales the spores, and then the spores somehow communicate. Yeah, so there's a communication which allows their navigation array to have a full sort of view, I guess, of all of mapped star systems. So I guess in the alpha quadrant.
Beta too.
So because it maintains that in its like a whale. So right. I think they found this stuff from the Glen that they can't even figure out what it does, but they've got it in the spore chamber that they have in the engineering for some. So this is the start of a traditional Star Trek mystery.
Yeah.
We have two different elements, and we need to find a way to make them work. And what makes them work is a little bit awe-inspiring. So that's when I say that there's 10, 15 minutes in the middle where it's a Star Trek episode.
Yeah.
And I liked that part where they're trying to figure out how to use the tardigrade to navigate the engine. So,
right.
Well, we got also the B plot, which we actually finally got some Klingon treachery, some Klingon personality that we have seen before comes through again, which is a complete disregard for weakness. Mm-hmm. How are you saying the guy's name? I have such a hard...
Voq.
Yeah, Voq basically gets usurped because he's starving. His people are starving, and he refuses to go to part out enemy ships. He's got no pragmatic bone in his body.
Yeah, like they've been sitting there for 6 months.
Let's talk about this.
The Shinzu, yeah.
Let's talk about
Michelle Yeoh.
Let's talk about. Oh my god. Okay, let's talk about the binary star system and talk about them eating a fucking Star Trek captain. Okay,
she ain't coming back, is she, boys?
So I think that's awesome. They started with the heart, I'm sure, because they're fucking Klingons. That's what they do. That's what I'm saying. Okay. I'm saying it's awesome that they ate her. I don't know.
Really?
It's fucking metal.
Yeah, there's precedent in that in Klingons. They've mentioned that.
I know, but.
That's what I'm saying. They started with our heart, I bet.
Yeah. We have this giant war fact at the binary star. And so we have all of these ships ships that died, several Klingon ships, several Enterprise or Federation ship having a gigantic battle. Uh-huh. So we know at the end when it looked like that the Klingons had won, all the Klingon ships warped out because it was a done battle. It was a dead battlefield. Like, their victory was assured, they could move on. And we know that the pods from the Shinzu had to shoot off because that was the last shot of the pilot.
Right.
So, did they just fucking leave all of these, corpses and ships and prevalent technology and a wounded Klingon vessel just there? I guess that the Klingon vessel had a cloaking technology, but Core or Cole or whoever found it.
Cole,
yeah, and I don't know if it's still using but the Federation just leaves their ships adrift in a battlefield.
They've been kind of busy since
That's
that
not
battle.
an excuse. That's never an excuse in
military. I think isn't it enemy territory though? It's been taken over by Klingons.
Yeah, it's enemy territory
They can't just go back in there because the Klingons are coming and going.
They did go back. But let's say that, and I know that this is getting to the end, but they did go back to get a telescope.
Okay, yeah, they did. That is weird. Well, I kind of hate the telescope, but that's the fact that they've been floating out in space. It's like
these are dead bodies. These are dead bodies. These are Federation bodies.
Who says that they didn't collect all the bodies?
They didn't.
They didn't collect Georgia because she's on a Klingon ship.
Then why wouldn't they just haul the ships? Like, easiest way to get the bodies off the fucking battlefield is to haul the ships out of the way.
I don't know. They didn't.
It just doesn't seem like the Federation to me, because it wasn't Klingon territory because there was just one Klingon ship there. That wasn't Klingon territory because the Klingons were starving there. So it just looks like both people ran away from the.
They're stranded.
On the battlefield. So it's not Klingon territory.
Cole got there, no problem.
They're in a war. They're spread thin. They've got their resources. Maybe they're distracted.
None of that stuff is said in the story, I guess. But yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, maybe. But it's just something that's just
one of the rock hard of all militaries is that you go get your people.
We don't know that they didn't get their people. They left the ship.
And you get your technology.
Yeah, well,
and you get your warp engines and your dilithium crystals.
I mean, yes, they should have, but it's just like it's just a TV show, man. I don't know.
Okay, so that's what happened at the beginning of this.
I'm saying it's worth criticizing, yes.
I'm going to say that in Rules of Acquisition, you never tell me it's just a TV show.
Well, no, I do say that's Nerd Corner stuff, and then we need to get over it. I say that all the time, that it's being like,
I think this is less than Nerd Corner, but yeah, okay. I'm willing. But I mean, it's a weird situation. It's a weird situation.
I'm saying it's worth pointing out. You're not wrong there.
All right.
But to make it like a deal breaker,
and that they got that goddamn telescope.
Yeah. Like I said, I think the telescope. I was going to save it till the end. I think it's kind of dumb.
If you're wanting to know, I'm not saying anything's a deal breaker. My general feeling on everything is I'm slowly trying to build a case that as of yet, I think this show is overly dark and half thought out. But these are the sort of things that bother me. But nonetheless,
the fact that they wanted to have the Klingons adrift and like kind of starving and kind of eating their own. Well, eating the captain's great, but they've been starving before and morale is low.
Yeah, I get that. Okay.
And it's because Voq is too proud to even scavenge the Federation stuff because he's a zealot,
right?
Like a religious zealot that doesn't want there. And then L'Rell, Mary Chiefo,
were they supposed to be scavenge them for food? Is that what they were wanting to scavenge them for?
Well, they need to scavenge. Well, they're stuck adrift.
I know that they scavenge them for
dilithium
crystals, but I couldn't tell if they were wanted to scavenge them.
They need some sort of processing thing, didn't they, or converter?
Yeah, they need a dilithium processor for converter.
They needed a doodad,
and he's like a religious zealot that says like, no, they've got pork on that ship, I won't use it or something, And then L'Rell, who's like from House Mokai, which is the sneaky house, apparently, she's like, look, dude, you got to change everything, your way of thinking, and bend to the times. We can't be, like, you got to do what needs to be done.
So he didn't want to use Federation. He didn't want to use Federation technology to save him because it was infidel technology.
Right. Okay. And and she convinces him they go get it.
Yeah, it was them sans serif fonts made me drop a line here or there. So, or serif fonts.
Did it make you not notice all the googly eyes they were giving each other?
Yeah, there were some vapors, wasn't there?
No. On my list of things that I liked about this episode, number one was the Klingon romance.
Yeah.
I don't know. I liked that part of it.
I think it was a ploy that, like, she was trying to seduce him so she could save. I can't tell if she's trying to seduce him so she could save him. Or, like, if she's playing a game, she comes from a house of tricksters.
She's playing.
Well, yeah,
right?
Yeah.
That's her whole thing, is that she's kind of a viper. Like she's the Section 31 house of Klingons or something. I mean, if we're jumping to the end of the B plot, you think she's betrayed him, but it turns out she hasn't, or has. You can't tell what her end game is almost.
Mm-hmm. Cole came there to turn all of his people and to steal the cloak from the ship, and basically just to steal the ship.
Well, yeah.
And she sees the play. She tells him that she's not interested in being. She was, I guess, Tuvok's lover.
Tuvok.
It's not very clear. Kovma's lover.
Not his lover. She was just like his right hand man.
Yeah, she's been with him a long time.
She may have been, and he's like, "Oh, shouldn't?" And she's like, "I don't want to lead. I want to be the strong lady behind every strong man." Cole shows up and he's bending the knee immediately, and he's like, Takuvma said, "Don't ever bend the knee." Insert your Chapo Trap House.
Takuvma is the Nira Tandon of the Center for American Progress.
But he's being all like tricky and subversive as well for House of Core, because he's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." And then while they're on the Shinzo getting their dilithium processor, Cole is like feeding all the starving House of Takuvma, and then they get back to the sarcophagus ship or whatever, and Cole's like, "Fuck you! I took your people. Right. You're a bitch."
Well, he makes the point that they're all united until they beat the Federation, and then they'll be split up again. Which is basically, this is more of the Klingon, stuff that we know. Because one of our complaints about the first episode is like they teamed up rather easily. They all went after this guy rather easily. Well, no, they really didn't. They just teamed up to go to beat up on the Federation. They really don't care about anything. And this shows that.
Yeah. And I'm sure they're trying to make a war brings people together, but once it's over, we all like break apart again. I don't know. But which is a fine observation to make, I guess, but that's what's happening with the Klingons. Cole of House of Core is like, "All right, I took your ship. You're my bitch. I'm going to kill you now." And then L'Rell is like, "No, you really want to shame this guy? I know what to do. And they put him on the Shinzo, and he's being all emo about it. And then she beams on and says, "No, I got your back. I'm here to save your life." And then she sends him off to go be with the matriarchs of House Smokai.
Which is the true mystery of the plot. It's like, what does she mean from that? So,
and what will I have to give up? Everything.
Which I think is an opening to, I mean, if you want to make an interesting where this could be going, this could be your augment virus to plant into the Federation, where he has to give up his Klingonness to actually be a plant into the Federation.
Interesting. Yeah.
I don't know.
That's probably.
If you want to go somewhere interesting,
you know what? That's
yeah.
Because they're a trickster organization or whatever.
Yeah.
Not only that, but he is like a hardcore Klingon.
Yeah.
And so the ultimate sacrifice would be to sacrifice his Klingonness to advance the cause of Klingon. So
right. Yeah, because she's like, it's just you and me, but like, we want to do this. We got to win this war ourselves, and like
she's trying to play that long game
by any means necessary. Yeah.
So that's just a theory. I mean that was what come to me is that would be.
Oh, I like that theory. Though.
That fits in with our transhuman, or Klingon in disguise theory pre-season 2.
Yeah.
So we got to be on the lookout for that.
Klingon in disguise is probably one of my favorite Elvis songs. So.
Oh yeah.
Guys, I want to ask you this: is Captain Lorca a good captain? Is he good at his job?
No,
I think so.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
What's his job and why is he bad at it?
Oh my God, have we forgot what Star Trek is about?
Oh, but his job in this instance is to win a war. That's not.
Don't care.
No,
that's not his job. His
people say that they can't do something. What's the difference between Lorca pushing him till they get it done, and Kirk pushing Scotty to get something done?
It's the same. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, let's go into this. Like, fuck this guy. Okay, so
infinite diversity. Like, to win a war, you need people that are good at war, and he's good at war, and that's what he's for.
Okay. So you take him into a room, and it's got like batliths in it. He's like, I study the weapons of war. Like, it's fuck. Like, fuck this guy. Like that. There is. I'm like, okay. So what it is that's not how in Star Trek. In the Federation, that's not how. I get that there is that William Sadler scene, in the William Sadler character in Deep Space Nine that we haven't gotten to yet. I understand that there's a Section 31, but a Section 31 is a shitty piece of shit that, like, you as an audience are supposed to hate. You're supposed to hate that the Federation is infected with this vein in them.
I'm not talking about Lorca as a Section 31 captain. I'm talking about them in a time of war.
I'm talking about him as he's a bad guy. And I'm saying that I think that
his question is he good at his job? And I'm saying he's good at his job.
And I'm going to say that no. I'm going to say that no.
You're saying his job isn't to win the war, though. You're saying his job is to be an explorer and be a Starfleet captain.
If you're fine with the representative hero of a quality captain to be a Rumsfeldian-like character.
He's not. He's not the guy.
I guess you're asking of like his moral.
He's more of a MacArthur than he's going out there to win it. He's not the guy like pushing for war in the first place, which is what Rumsfeld.
No, I think he's not. For. I think that his first officer hates him.
Oh yeah, Saru hates him.
That's clear.
Yes.
I think that his security officer is an Igor-like insane person.
Well, she's dead now.
Who's driven to ridiculousness. I think that he inspires the worst out of people.
Okay, this is why these are the impressions that I get from him. However, I'm trying to parse out what's the difference.
Well, I'm saying the only person on the ship that's doing a Star Trek job, like a traditional Star Trek job, is the
Paul Stamets,
Adam Rapp, the Anthony Rapp character, and he hates Lorca.
Yeah.
And now I'm not saying there's not going to be the next episode where obviously the next episode is going to be Lorca focused. He could be a great character. I'm not even saying that he's not a good character. I'm saying that he is, if they're trying to push him as a quality
captain, I want to know if he's good at his job.
Captain and as a quality representation of Starfleet.
That's not what I asked.
That's not what. Exactly. That's not what he asked.
Is he a good captain?
And they're specifically not asking, is he a good Starfleet captain?
The good guys hate him and the bad guys love him. I don't know. Is that good enough?
We don't know if the bad guys love him because they've only fought Klingons. They haven't met him yet.
I don't know. I mean that fucking bitch that got ate by the tardigrade.
Well,
that's a pretty strong. We're gonna easy there.
Yeah, like
easy.
Really, like easy.
What? I mean, she's dead now. She's a horrible piece of shit character. She was
let's going back to Hugh's question was not, is he a good representative of a Starfleet captain? No, he said, is he good at his job? His job is to win the war. He's good at that. That's what they're saying.
However,
are we sure about that?
Yes. Well,
I'm sorry. I thought that it was men like James Kirk that won the wars. I thought it was men like
no, James Kirk is an explorer.
They were in plenty of battles. Jean-Luc Picard.
Yeah, also not a war captain.
Picard
but they
got
were
sorry,
war.
Ward with the board.
Got some people's wives killed.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. The point, what the show is doing.
Well, Picard got captured. I like my captains not getting captured.
Right.
I like the ones that don't get captured.
It's fine if you hate that this is what the show is doing, but the show, Star Trek Discovery, is trying to show the Federation in war, and they're trying to play with these ideas of, okay, how do you? It's almost IDIC, infinite diversity.
Okay,
you have different kinds of captains that are different kinds of things. Not everybody in they're not saying all Starfleet captains need to be like Lorca. They're saying this guy is good at what he does, and that's at wartime. And he's a wartime captain.
No, I disregard that. I disregard all of that.
Why?
Well, I'm sorry. Then you just disagree with the premise of the show, and we're at an impasse.
Yeah,
maybe we do. Okay, I disregard the idea, the Starfleet idea, and I know that we've had the entire scope of the Rules of Acquisition podcast that we've had is that we like Benjamin Sisko because Benjamin Sisko has a pragmatic understanding of the moment and that he can bend rules when they need to be bent. We're trying to keep spoilers for Deep Space Nine, but he breaks a major rule.
Right.
In season 6, you're supposed to be thinking that Starfleet, and I'm not a Roddenberry guy. I don't love everything, but you are supposed to think that Starfleet stands for things, and you're supposed to say, you're saying that there's an explorer, or that's in peacetime. But you don't have, when you really stand for something, you don't have a peacetime and a wartime. The ideals that served Picard in war and in peace. Same with Kirk. So I think that this bent towards, obviously you need to have a defense. Obviously you need to have these sort of concepts. You need to run drills. You need to be prepared to save outposts from the Klingons. But this idea, where he takes her into his little edgelord lair and I study the Daguts and all of this stuff is not, that's not effective. It's not
well, that's kind of that's what I was kind of getting into. Is he? What I mean by is he a good captain? Is he good at his job? And I'm worried because that he's not.
Yeah.
But not maybe for the reasons that James. I mean, not for the reasons that James is listed. But for instance, when the admiral asks him if he's ready, and he just gives her an answer that he feels that he wants to give her, he wants to be the captain that's ready. So he says he's ready, whether he is or not.
The contractor that says he can take a bid and can't fulfill it.
Well, that's what I'm worried about.
Yeah. Oh, but what happens by the end of the episode? He does what he says he would do.
Didn't do shit.
He did. That's right.
He gets the job done.
That's right.
So how are we going to say he's bad at his job? He did what he said he was going to do.
It's something I'm not willing to say one way or the other, make a decision myself.
Yeah.
It's just something I'm trying to keep an eye on as the series goes on, I guess.
I'm willing to agree that he's a bad Star Trek captain in that he's not but in the fucking paradigm that the show is set up,
doing his job, right?
He's doing his job, and he's
wait. Okay, we all agree that at some point that Michael Burnham, who is going to make a decision against him and we're gonna and that's gonna be a good thing. We're gonna be with her. Hell yeah. We're ultimately going to say fuck this guy, right?
Well, no, not necessarily.
Oh,
we're gonna be asked to question whether these two ideologies and choose for ourselves. They're you were shitting on it before because we don't know how she feels about things. They're trying to let us put this kind of Star Trek diversity out there. And when you have these two different conflicting...
What do you mean by diversity when you're in the point that you're making?
I'm talking about infinite diversity and infinite combination. She's going to have to, and Klingons have their point of view, and their point of view is we try to have this kind of Margaret Mead kind of anthropology of trying to accept every diversity in culture and every diversity of idea. And she's going to have to see when push comes to shove, when, yes, he's very good at war, but when she has to make a choice to whether the choice that he's making to win the war is worth sacrificing her principles, which is what we started off this show with. She's going to have to make that choice again. And she's probably going to have to go against Lorca to choose more of, like, be more in line with what Filippo Giorgio would have done. But fact of the matter,
so ultimately the point of the show will be that Lorca's side is wrong.
I don't know, but I think they're going to be a little bit like trying to make you question like what he's fighting for is, which they do in this episode. We haven't even gotten like where he's like, everybody's like, we're science people, we don't want to do what you say. And then he's like, listen, and he puts the transmission from Corvin of like people dying and people screaming for children.
Was that manipulative, or was that an effective motivator?
Yeah, it's like fighting it's like if there were Nazis, you got to punch. They're at a war for their society, and if this Corvan place where they get all their dilithium from falls, the war is over. And so it's a big strategic thing. And also, yeah, he's a little bit.
He did that to make them science harder.
Yeah, to go save.
He made them
to save lives.
So we got to science harder now because people are dying. I mean,
yeah,
we know.
What an asshole! People are dying and they have to science harder. What are you talking about? Yeah, that's not a thing.
I don't know. I think that's incredibly like manipulative.
Yeah, he's doing what he is manipulative.
I think it's dumb. I think it's Donald Trump crap. Is what I think. Who do you like on the show? Do you really like these people?
Because Lorca's like, he's an engaging character.
Like, I don't mean like Khan is an engaging character in Star Trek.
If he's
but would you watch Khan, the TV show?
I think we're all going to get our chance to do that, yes.
If there's rumors about Nicholas Meyer making a TV show about Khan, maybe I will. I don't want that.
I don't know. Last week you had this like Cronenberg thing, and this week, and I'm not trying to be a tone thing, but like, I don't know. I
didn't even like the tone that much in this episode, partly because y'all beat me down so much about it. But
wait a minute. I don't think I've ever beat you down.
No, this all our yelling about this shit has just kind of tired me, and I'm not willing to.
I think I keep my voice at a reasonable level.
No, you do, Hugh. You do.
I think that
I've never, ever, ever in any podcast ever kept myself at a reasonable level, even when I'm quiet.
Okay, I see. I get your point, though. You were kind of weary going into this.
Yeah.
It was a long week last week. Yes. Yeah.
And I get being upset that he's not doing what Star Trek captains have done or stood for.
And I don't
just
mean that,
but
I mean this is a dark, tiring show. To me,
sure, this was kind of tiring.
There is nobody that's exciting to watch.
But
your main character is a fucking I don't know, a cipher. That can be done well, but that's not what. There's all these other scenes with cast members, but none of them are satisfying. And then you have these long stretches with Klingons in this all having this Game of Thrones thing in a serif font in a foreign language, and it's so disrupting, and it's kind of dull, and it's intricate, and it's hard to penetrate.
I don't
because
know. When L'Rell was given Voq the vapors, that was kind of cool. The fact that they were able to...
I said that was my favorite thing on the episode.
Right.
So,
well, whenever they were able to communicate, I love it when it's sort of a minor miracle whenever they can communicate those something so subtle through all that makeup.
Yeah. The makeup is punishing. The language is punishing. The font... the subtitles.
I like the font.
I like the font too.
I hate the font.
I find it easy to read.
Yeah.
I will say that I am by far not the only person to bring up the font, but it is punishing.
You're saying that many people are saying
people are saying that about the font.
Therefore, it's a valid that is.
Right,
well, you must be right how awful it is because many people are saying it, James. Many people are saying it. So yes,
all the people that I watch the show with.
Yes, I think where we are on Discovery, do you think we've turned a corner with episode 4? Do we have a better idea of what we're looking at? It's more of a Trek show, this one was. So, and the Klingon stuff is palace intrigue.
Yeah, you usually love
and
that.
The Trek stuff looks like there's science-y problems to solve. So we might have sort of a palace intrigue Trek show. Yeah.
You have a 10-year-old. Would you watch this with her? Would you watch this with her?
Yes, I would if she would watch it. But she's got no interest in this.
When you used to sit down and watch it, like
this is not old Trek. I think that's the crux of what I'm getting at. I'm trying to view it as what they're trying to do.
Then what is it?
I think
do you like this because this is familiar brand, the $6 TV show? Or do you like it because it's like that's my issue with it. I don't want to be this guy. I'm not a gatekeeper, but it is Star Trek in name only. It is nothing about this has anything to do with anything that's come before it. Tonally,
yeah, but we knew that.
It is just set in the world.
We knew that. So that's why I'm not totally upset about it.
No, I didn't. I wanted hopeful Star Trek. I wanted nice, hopeful Star Trek.
I weren't getting...
I didn't want this.
I mean, I was ready to go into this saying this felt like more of episode 3, which I didn't hate.
Right.
It's not my favorite show. I'm not trying to argue it is. I'm just saying that it doesn't instill this existential anger in me.
Yeah, it does for James.
Yeah.
I think that good art has a power in us that can empower us. And bad art can sap us in certain ways, and I feel like that it's
but I don't think this is even bad art yet. It's just not.
I feel like it's sapping James a little bit.
Yes, I do, but I think that's an expectations game.
This is bad. This is bad art.
It's because
it's not over yet, so maybe it's and I feel like maybe it's getting its footing.
No,
I guess,
open mind.
So
I guess. And Rainn Wilson's on next episode, and I love Rainn Wilson. Love.
Well, you've got an open mind and set expectations that we know it's not going to be. There doesn't seem like.
Wait a minute. Hold on. I have set expectations about everything I fucking watch in the history of the world. Like, I don't understand. I expect things to be quality, and I don't expect.
But your quality is impinged on them being the Star Trek that you know, and it's not going to be the Star Trek.
My quality is that this is punishing. Like, I don't know. Like, are you enjoying this? And why?
We watch punishing shows all the time that we like. We love The Leftovers. We like The Deuce is pretty punishing. You know?
I think that I mean punishing in a different way. I mean, it's punishing me, not punishing the characters.
That's what I'm saying. It's punishing you because it's not giving you the Star Trek you want. It's what it sounds like. It's what I'm hearing from you with the ranting about him being a bad captain.
Guys, I don't just like starship shows. Like, I don't like that shit. Like, I like Star Trek. And
you know what? The Orville is a Star Trek that I didn't want, but I'm still enjoying it. I guess.
Yeah, I mean,
like I didn't ask for the Orville.
Too. I'm not even saying that they're doing Battlestar here. I know you've said they're trying to emulate it.
I guess I'm okay. By the way, I don't mean when I say that they're doing Battlestar or The Expanse, I don't mean that they're doing the plot elements.
I know it's the
Battlestar.
tone,
like dark space shit. Yeah. Whatever was started by Ridley Scott in Alien and sort of transferred over. Where
they're definitely
spaceships are junky and war and these kind of things. And I definitely think that with the Klingon stuff, they're trying to do some sort of like Game of Thrones shit.
They definitely are.
Like, I'm not going to disagree with you there.
Even the masters of doing Game of Thrones aren't great at Game of Thrones all the time. Yeah. So it's not promising to me. And I think that I think at the end of the day, they want me. I think about what did they want me to think? And I think that they say that James Nolan, overweight 38-year-old white guy, he likes to see Game of Thrones, which is like dark as shit. Like Human Long Night, just people being despicable.
Yeah.
And Battlestar Galactica was mostly just people being despicable. And I've seen one episode of The Expanse since last week, and I liked it, but it is people being despicable.
Sure.
And so there are these things that they think about that I want.
But you don't.
What are they giving me here? I don't. I think that they want me to, at the end of this whole show, at the end of this whole project, Michael Burnham is going to be forced to make a choice like what she made in the pilot, and that she's going to choose life. She's not going to choose death, like Renton said in Trainspotting. She's going to choose life,
right?
And she's going to choose the color TV, and she's going to choose and that
right
that we're going to have experienced her journey to that point. Now, that being said,
right,
I like characters. There's characters on Game of Thrones that are interesting and fun. there are characters on Expanse. I've watched one episode, but like Thomas Jane's in it, and Thomas Jane's he's in Boogie Nights. So like I like that. Like there's no Boogie Nights actors on this show, guys. So like you got to work hard. You got to work harder. And so like there's not a single character I like other than I like Jason Isaacs as an actor playing this role.
But you hate the character because he's a warmonger and he's a Donald Rumsfeld.
If he's my guiding star on the show, then yeah.
He's not, though.
But
your guiding star is supposed to be Michael Burnham. But it's supposed to... He's set up as a guy that gets the bad shit that you don't want done, that has to be done in a war.
That makes him sound justified. And I don't want Star Trek to justify this guy.
Well, they're at a war with space Nazis, the Klingons that want to wipe out their whole society. That's kind of justified to go save lives on a fucking place where all your oil comes from. Oh shit.
Okay, so I'm not talking about in the real world. I'm talking about on Star Trek on a post. I'm talking
about in this episode, Klingons are killing civilians and taking out a dilithium operation.
Yes.
It needs to be saved. And he does what he needs to get done to go save them because nobody else is in a position.
So is there going to be an episode?
What is wrong with that?
What is wrong with that? It's a mindset. So if he's going to be in an episode where he's going to have to kill, if he's going to have to kill 50, so he goes into like the Mekong planet, Delta planet, and there is a village, there's a hamlet, and some of them have Klingon raiders, but the other ones are just Klingon farmers, and they can't decide the raiders from the farmers, and he has to kill them all, and he has to kill them all.
James, that hasn't happened yet. If that happens, I will say something about it.
But why? Why? Because he's the captain. He's a strong captain. He's going to do what he has to be done to save the Federation.
He's what? I'm talking about this episode. There's children dying, and he's got to go save them. What are you talking about?
I don't think he actually did anything immoral on this episode.
I don't either. Because
so then why do you think you have such an aversion to him?
Why do you think he's going to go kill Vietnamese?
Are characters constantly enigmas until they actually perform their action? I'm saying that Lorca is the type of character who makes that decision, right? And every scene you've had of his, and everything he's said, he's the guy who makes that decision, right?
Probably.
That makes me sick.
But he hasn't. The show hasn't put him in that position.
I'm not accusing him.
And you don't think that when he makes that decision, the show's going to set it up as a bad thing?
I don't know, but
that's not what the show.
But he's going to have made that decision for the same reason that you've just said that he's doing a good job.
I don't want to spend a half an hour on a hypothetical shows.
Yeah.
Oh, can I bitch about Elon Musk? Can I bitch about that? That's fucking annoying to me.
Yeah, that was. I think we can all agree that counting him with the rest of those.
And I put that into the box of instincts this show has that are red flags to me.
Okay. I will definitely give you that one.
Right. Well, it's because they're like, we'll just say people in the writers' rooms like, wait a minute. I know Elon Musk is going to be watching this. Let's just suck his dick a little bit so he's nice to us.
I guarantee you that's what's going to happen.
If he's a Rick and Morty fan, he's watching Star Trek. They figure out how to hook up the tardigrade into the...
we're still doing the plot.
Yeah, to the Hellbox torture machine. And
well, kind of.
They do the spinny ship and they go land on a sun the first time and they're like, oh, fuck, they almost die. Then they figure out how to hook up the tardigrade to the S&M machine that gets them to the place.
To the nipple harness.
Yeah. And Michael Burnham being, our eyes and ears and maybe our moral compass for this show is like, I think that tardigrade was giving me its safe word so many times and we just kept going at it.
And that's clearly what they're setting that up for next week, that they push the poor beast too far. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's setting up. Lorca doesn't give a shit. He's a dick. I agree with you. And then they go and save all those children. What an asshole.
Can I also knock them for this is the episode that they're going to redeem her character, and what is she doing? She's saving the cat. The tardigrade is...
Oh, well, you always save the cat.
That's what I'm saying. So, the way to make your character likable so that the audience relates to them is bond them with an animal.
Oh, yeah.
So, okay.
Sure. Hey, I'm not even disagreeing with you. I mean...
So, no, I'm not saying... That's not a deal breaker. Like I said, that's a part of the plot that I like.
Yeah, I like cats. I like little water bears. I wish it looked more like a cute tardigrade and less monster, honestly.
Yeah.
But that's just me. And I was confused, like they didn't grow it, they just found it. So it's like a tardigrade-like thing, I guess.
Traveled in free travel in space.
Well, tardigrades can survive in space.
Yeah, but
the spores stuff is the spores
nonsense.
Everything about this is silly to the point of
they don't need to unpack this too deeply because it'll snap at some point.
The real Paul Stamets, that is a scientist now who's doing amazing things with mycology, did kind of theorize about astromycology, that it's possible that they're everywhere, and that's what the show is extrapolating on. But it is a little bit fantastic.
But I don't understand how it bends space.
Well, it's just like mushrooms, man. They bend space and time in your mind.
Can I bring up something that I don't immediately love or hate that I just want to talk about?
The spinny ship?
The spinny ship? Yes, exactly. I don't make a case for it.
I don't know how
somebody, because I don't hate it, but I don't you could convince me either way. But it might.
I mean, I guess.
I think it looks neat, but I'm pretty sure I'd throw up if I was on one of those.
Yeah, I just don't understand this. I'm going to go nerd corner on this. I just don't understand the physics of it. I've been looking at this GIF on Twitter of it spinning, and
we could be talking about it spinning two different ways. It spins on its own axis. Then when it's jumping, it spins on all axes.
Yeah. Well, that's just like shrooms. I mean, what a trip, you know?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But even the way the disc, even with looking at this GIF of the disc spinning the way it's going, and the interior disc is spinning in an opposite way, except there's also little windows on the side that were too cheap to make spin, so that stays still while the DSC on the top spins around it. And it's just like,
or maybe it's only the roof is spinning, and then all of the sides aren't spinning.
Yeah,
it could be. I think it's the exterior. It could be the exterior.
Yeah,
somehow.
And I guess that's that's the spore drive at work. It has to do with the spinning disc, but they didn't even have the 2 disc kind of thing worked into it until 6 months before or 3 months before air, so they were writing all these scripts. It felt like they were just oh, that would look cool, just do it, instead of really thinking about it.
Okay, so every time a ship gets hit with a blast, everybody has to hurl themselves one way or the other. In this episode, they do it deliciously, where Paul Stamets fucks up his face. It's beautiful.
Oh yeah,
and that's a great little moment, and I like that part. If everybody thinks I'm shitting on it, I shit on Anthony Rapp last week. I pretty much liked everything involved with his character. I think that he's the only character that's worth a damn. But nobody's sticking to the walls because they're on the tilt-a-whirl at the county fair.
Yeah, I don't know.
So why do that? I don't know.
But you can just explain it away as technobabble and not to get too worked up about it, I guess. It just kind of annoys me.
Yeah, I mean, these kind of little details are what separates the good science fiction from the bad. I mean, these are the things that people sort of gravitate to. And I don't want to get super nerd corner, oh, that's an Excelsior class versus a whatever class. And you don't have to get into that, but the tactile nature of the world is always super important to me.
I think a lot of decisions are driven by how things look and how cool they might be.
Also, I would say it looks like they run out with the saving of the screaming children.
Yes,
they ran out a little bit of money, but that's nothing more Star Trek than running out of money and doing something
that's
so
true.
I'm not saying that's not Star Trek, but they clearly ran out of a little money there because that looked cheap as shit. So everything about that battle sequence,
I couldn't tell because the CBS app fucking sucks and it was giving me low res everything. And
But nonetheless, that's a very Star Trek problem to have, and I'm not holding their budget against them.
Yeah.
They spent a lot of money to make the pilot look great. So
they're spending $6 million an episode, which is a crazy amount for
what?
Yeah.
They do $10 million
for a television.
They do $10 million for Game of Thrones. They do $6 million for this.
Yeah, but you don't need CGI to stick some people in mud in a forest.
They use mostly CGI.
No, they didn't have Ed Sheridan sitting around on a CGI green screen. They just stick some Brits in some woods.
And also, they had 9 episodes of Game of Thrones this season.
Right.
There's 15 of these with $6 million apiece.
I'm not saying it's too little. I'm saying I'm not seeing that on the screen.
Well, I'm saying I can't tell because the CBS app sucks.
Yeah.
After they save everybody, she's like, okay, I'm going to finally open this last will and testament. We see why they're reshooting Michelle Yeoh as holograms from now on, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
And then she finally gets this thing that's been passed down for centuries in Michelle and Captain Georgiou's family, and it's just the telescope. It felt like I know they wanted to make it a big emotional moment, and it's oh, see, we're about exploration and looking to the stars.
I thought it was a real TNG moment. I think I like that.
Yeah, I guess.
But it made me go like, I just watched an episode while these two arcade Klingons pick through the bones.
Right.
Am I supposed to believe that Saru with his threat ganglia ran and grabbed it so that it could go back with them in one of the escape pods?
Maybe.
I mean, like, that is mind-boggling to me. Okay.
Yeah.
I guess next episode is, like I said, immediately they're pretty clear on, and I guess there's some footage from last week that was shown at the thing you went to yesterday.
Oh, I did see. I mean, you know what? I was like, oh, y'all are going to love this episode. And then after hearing your thoughts on Captain Lorca, I need to probably slow my roll once again and be like, nope, James might hate it. I don't know.
Well, I mean, I love Rainn Wilson, and obviously there's going to be some sort of like, what is the nature of Lorca while he's in prison?
They're basically they're going to do, you can go listen to this episode on the rules of acquisition. We just did it, in a few weeks when we get to it.
Oh.
They're doing hard time with Captain Lorca and Shazif, or one of the other leads that is doing all the press tour with the rest of the cast, forgot his name, who is, spoilers, turns out to be a prisoner of war with the Klingons. And they're doing hard time, and they're all prisoners of the Klingons.
Oh, so there's a character we haven't met yet. Do we watch Galaxy Fight, episode 5?
Next week's episode? This is episode 4 that we just watched.
Yeah, I'm saying we were having the thing last in the podcast where if this wasn't Star Trek and we didn't do a podcast about it, would you watch episode 5?
Of Galaxy Fight, I probably would. I don't... Is Galaxy Fight only available on CBS All Access?
Yes.
Then I'm out.
Yeah, I'm out.
Yeah, I might. Yeah, I would. I don't know if I'd pay.
I mean, it's ridiculous. For basically, $6. What is it? $8? How much am I paying a month?
$6. I think it's $5.99.
$6 a month. Oh God! For 4 episodes of TV, we get one a week.
Struck. Is that what's called? Film Struck. Film Fight. What is this called?
It's Film
Struck's right.
Film Struck. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you get $10 a month, and you get basically only good movies.
I will say this afternoon I watched an episode of Bull. Not a good show. Yeah, if we're shitting on Star Trek Discovery, this show is so much better written than Bull.
Okay, I'm not going to have that fight at all because I probably agree with you.
Yeah. And then I watched an episode of a show also produced by Alex Kurtzman called Scorpion.
Oh, people love that show. Love that show.
You're trying to get your better value out of it than I am, I guess.
We fight on this podcast, but we all just said that we'd probably not watch the next episode if it wasn't Star Trek and we didn't do a podcast about it.
Well, I'd say I wouldn't pay for the episode.
Yeah.
Okay, but
I don't know.
But would you pay for it with an hour? Let's say it is on CBS. And on Hulu, so you don't have to watch it.
Yeah, I'd watch. Yeah, if I can catch it on, if I can like DVR it and catch it on CBS, yeah. I'm in on Galaxy Fight episode 5 next week.
All right.
Yeah,
but asked to pay for it, then no.
Yeah, paying for it. I ain't paying for Galaxy Fight. I'm not trying to line CBS's pocket for some bullshit show.
All right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good enough. And I'm interested whether they fuck up the IP or not because it's Star Trek. And I'm interested to see and I'm a nerd about the canon and how they're fucking it. I just
want to point out, we're on the same page here.
Yeah.
But everything else is, I guess, like temperamental discourse. But we're kind of all on the same page here. All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, Wade, do you want to give the phone number if folks want to call in?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, go give us a call, but or just tell us what you think about the show yourself, because I'm curious about.
We definitely want to hear from you. The most fun thing about doing this podcast for me is to hear you guys' comments about it.
Yeah,
it really is. It really is the thing I look forward to most in the week, because until the show gets better.
Yeah. So give us a call at 917-408-3898, or if you're international, record it. Under 3 minutes, please, and send us as an attachment. You can do that to rulesofacquisitionpodcast@gmail.com. We have a Patreon for this show and all the other shows that we do. Our little band name is You can reach us at patreon.com/kickersofelves.
The things for our patrons that we've just started up is a Discord server, because last week started a lot of Twitter fights between fans and me, and then Wade and me, and then so we basically thought that a Discord server would be the best thing to set up.
Those are very complicated,
and it's a couple days up, but it's been pretty fun, and we want to keep it going. So we have this. You can talk about Discovery. You can talk about Rules of Acquisition, the Deep Space Nine podcast we do, or whatever.
Blade Runner, the Orville.
Blade Runner's going Orville.
We talk about a lot of contemporary science
Blade
fiction.
Runner's great, people. Go watch Blade Runner. Go watch Blade Runner.
Okay.
Pay for it in the theater. Okay.
Okay, I will. I told you I would, James, and I want to.
Because we don't always get good movies, and when we do, we need to, if we don't service the one good restaurant in town, we won't have any good restaurants.
Thanks again for listening to A Discovery Home Companion. For Wade and James, 3 to beam out.
Subscribe to us on iTunes or Stitcher or Caster or Fuckcast or Podsucker. Review us on iTunes. Also grab a bit of fame for yourself by calling us at 917-408-3898 and leaving us a message. We play that shit on air. Or email us at rulesofacquisitionpodcast@gmail.com. Also, listen to our Deep Space Nine podcast, Rules of Acquisition. It is pretty amazing, but you may not yet be ready for its awesome amazingness. Assess your personal awesomeness appropriately.